teacher. I will let him speak for himself on who he is, but help me welcome up Matthew Marseille.
Shout out to MOT, congratulations on the 1 year. Shout out to the BIPOC artists featured on the wall. Shout out to this black-owned business. Y'all doing it out here. My name is Matthew Esteis Marseille. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Been living in Memphis for the last 7 years, teaching creative writing at high school. I recently moved to Atlanta at the start of June, so it's the new season. I won't stop between each and any of my poems. I'm going to just tell them as it is. The floor is the story.
Run it through. Run it through.
This is my mother, Matthew. This is my mother.
I wander within forests where fallen bark bears swirls of ink along its spine. My trip helps me paint what I feel. It helps me sketch my vision, ego, strengths, and insecurities. Connect with the creator, whatever made us. You know that force we feel when in the midst of nature? Or incredible human beings radiating genuine joy. We crave that kind of energy. It feels peculiar voids. One sunny season after a year-long storm, stanzas wander behind my eyes, and I wonder why I write. Well, I write to release myself from feeling, wrestling with feeling, and being found obsolete. Now you see me. I search for strength within a sea of thoughts and find it in the overflow of words which bubble from the abyss onto parchment, where a battle of pauses rages in a cadence. Every word, like a friend, is fully invested in the quest. Rhyme and rhythm dance around the pages. As I move with the music, I begin to float above my current calamities, happily at peace and brightest bliss, and punctuations move in my command. A plot sometimes intertwines with the poem embedded between the lines, and I take note as the melodies coexist in harmony within the beat of my heart. Then by dancing within the leaves on the tree, I wake up from my lucid dream, perplexed that my manifested creativity hasn't yet met the vision written within the depths of my cortex, but I smile and I write some old poor man's therapy. I pick up pen again to let my mind wonder, ponder, yonder, and wander these realities through poetry. This poor mind's therapy. My partner said he was pushing me for positivity. To which I said, well, that's my prerogative, so let's get popping, because anything short of a powerful P would impress our real issues. Maybe 5% of y'all will follow me after this poem, but I'm pushing peace between ourselves, God within ourselves, and I hope you get the message. What I feel is freely shared only after it's been filtered through my mind. You see, short of logic, audiences grow bored, and the essence of a message falls short of divine. I'm pushing prophecy. That is, being perceptive, paying attention to what you speak. Shit, paying attention for Hufflepuff. Hufflepuff, you know, the shade, hate, coded conversations, the words folks use to spot a snake slithering behind the cloak of corruption, or the gods of religion. For example, it caused me to play Peter Griffin or honorary preacher leading me. You see, I paid attention, played dumb, and realized he wasn't living the richness of life he was teaching. He was going in for the power. Persona wanted to be monster, but the boys from well beyond the burbs, like Giles Beaverton, and they ain't built like that. So listening to him had to stop. Now I'm pushing and pulling this PEM, known to bring forth various forms of wealth, the same way that Raven clawed the way back to the spot, but that's life. I'm pushing an evolution of education, one that will bring forth a revolution. I'm pushing signing petitions to rewrite the Constitution. I'm pushing poetry to my students. We paint portraits using syllables. Deep, warm tones compose the skies behind every alphabetical bar, the colors of which slide off the blade of their cadence. Every stroke of their pen swivels with intent, and happy accidents only reflects on how the word is wasted. I'm pushing please don't play with this. I've been bringing more life to souls in South Memphis than some of their churches. I'm pushing peace because hearing the hate coming from some of those posters, it almost makes seeing their destruction worth it. But my partner said he was pushing peace for positivity. To which I said, well, that's my prerogative. So let's get it positive, because anything short of a powerful P would impress our real issues. Maybe 5% of y'all will follow me after this phone. But I'm pushing peace between ourselves, God within ourselves. And I hope you get the message. There are words like honesty, elusive allies who tell our souls of heartbreaking conversations, and debate the truth of one's journey with pain and peace in hopes of mitigating the prospects of disappointment and deceit. There are words like faith and justice who tickle the heart with hope and sound cliche, but challenge kingdoms under quarantine about the reality of their cultural pandemics. We've been lost and broken. Our rebel hearts of fields once stolen. The economic vacuum trapped us, media pump faked us. It seemed like school and TV tried to shape us into inmates, into labels, into clones. But we don't comply, we walk alone. We stand as those who hold an obsolete perspective. In spiritual despair because our cries and petitions have gone unanswered, unappreciated, unrecognized. Our words are our greatest weapon, but when our words go unheard, they become like blunted blades in an endless war in this game of life controlled by thrones. Once what we are got out of focus, who we are became of little value. So we raise our fists and open our hands to access the majesty running through the pathway of our being. Whether man, woman, or child, we reach deep into our soul and converse through God did. While forever intertwined with the divine, we march in harmony and create waves that crash against the shores of our emancipation from fear. Alone, little can be done, but through unions comes the holy bread of our toil. Risk takers create a portion of heaven on earth with their gifts while moved by the great I am and great pain. New filters over fickle perspectives may present a vivid picture of what we actually contain. But until we unite across cultures and fight our unjust, classist, sexist, and racist pandemics through truth and power spoken, the system will always remain broken, and we may never see change. Recognize, rap, this ain't that. But you should rap it if you're willing. My pen would rather paint plots poured from the soul of a sinner, a winner, a sender. I wrestle with wise and unholy juxtapositions like senseless beginnings, false premonitions, wheezing, breathing, dying, divine imperfections, who fight for life and try to find rest in a resurrection. Recognize the calm and chaos in creation, the peace and danger in vibrations, or venomous medications, or how glass over eyes recognize distorted faces. I look back at some old skin I shed a few years ago and saw the shell of an existence that lingered in old posts. A toast to old ghosts. Toasted in hopes. When I rap my words for cursive, hope arose in a few folks. I guess the tall, dark, and dumb turned out to be pretty genius in a few posts that he wrote. He spoke, so I recognize how this game goes. Woke, I'm seeing sheep dressed in wolves' clothes. Joke, like cynics who keep close. I find solace in old poems and plans to feature the prose. A rising action occurs every time this ink pours. Rising actions approach climaxes, and audiences can't help but fall victim to repose as these words whisper delicacies that likely deep into their souls. Recognize the power of your imagination, the power of praying, which does not cease but is all that you're saying, distinct manifestation if it helps. Recognize that God is, I am, better yet, the I will be what I will be. Close your eyes. What does your mind see? Recognize that I am a myriad dualities, multiple personalities. I am love, joy, balance, peace. I am hate, rage, wrath, and chaos. I am servant and shepherd. I am driver and boss. Recognize that our broken bodies contain godly temples within. Hence why both sides of reality carry points. Recognize that I am, better yet, I own. Our minds align and find out who we are when we are alone. Recognize, rap, this ain't that. But you should rap it if you will. My pen would rather paint plots poured from the soul of the sinner, a winner, a sender. I wrestle with wise and unholy juxtapositions like senseless beginnings, false premonitions, wheezing, breathing, dying, divine imperfections, who fight for life and try to find rest in the resurrection. I can keep going for about 90 more minutes. But y'all just give me some feedback, be honest with the snaps. As soon as they die down, I'm gonna say my last poem. Alright, so I know y'all get down with the protests here in Portland. So I'm gonna gonna recite a pretty controversial poem. And maybe I'll switch up the vibes a little more loving, something a little more loving. We'll see. I hope we don't, but I bet we fall for the okie doke, like Santa's sleigh or the illusion of votes. We've shown the ability to mobilize blood, book, and food drives, but what's happening in Palestine comes from a script Kings of the West and a quest for false prophets wrote. Brown bodies and black gold brought in different bags. Fuel funds fuel fear, and few knew the play was planned a few years, decades, centuries ago. Tall tales and false trips to Zion is the bedrock keeping this conflict afloat. Perhaps a few at the council at Nasir were recruited to remove descendants of Abraham from holy lands. 70 AD, 450 through the late 18s, 1948 through today, crusades turned into fights for crew as soldiers salute and slaughter unholy hands. And while their legions are through pillaging, history gets rewritten, woven into worldly beliefs, doctrines, and understandings. And the citizens see it as God's will, whomever their country stand with. Confused by propaganda, textbooks, and racist pastors. Brains washed with flags dressed in allegiance, lose the beat God's drums would have blessed their band with. But fools fall for the okie doke. Ask them to swallow the truth and they'll probably choke. A ceasefire won't cease the desire for total control. A ceasefire will call for the removal of natives from their holy homes. Does that sound familiar? My God, what is going on in Gaza? I think man's ego is the problem. But if humans are truly your children, then which nation is listening to their mama? Papa. If religions and beliefs of our Hebrews, real faith, then why would the pale face seek to find ways to muzzle the Muslim? Deface the darker brother. Erase the indigenous. It seems we've traded freedom of worship for freedom of commerce, and now they're bombing banks due west of Baghdad, and a doctor weeps in pain, calling out your name after seeing his brother with half a face lying next to their dead dad. His sister's with his wife, and they're looking for a place to rest, and their intuition has been brought to shambles. After their last decision to turn left, the decision to turn left led to them losing two of their 3 kids. He doesn't know this, and for their protection, he lives to pray to you even now. Only for moments later, what gets blown to bits is the place where he first found out how to pray to you. I heard a pastor say this was a product of your wrath, brought up some quotes about the Antichrist. I think it's over a bag. Westernization, and complete control over beliefs imposed by the Vatican. But if the furnace you created your covenant with Abraham through was the first rendition of the Christ in a particular form of consciousness, then perhaps the Christ is back again. Because no one in their right mind can stand behind blowing up Orange Mound, the south side of any city, or Crown Heights in search of one man fighting for his land against foreign forces, false claiming divine blood and crippling resources. God, we've shown the ability to mobilize, but how does one actualize a ceasefire? Is it really going to come with anarchy or another insurrection? Perhaps it's switching our political affiliations in the next election, hoping that things get better, ignoring whatever gets us. Or perhaps the issue is only a few of us care enough. The situation at home is already a mess. And with that recognition, I digress. This is Esteis' thesis, another obsolete perspective. We'll keep going. So let me ask y'all, was I want another woke poem, or was I want something about love? I only heard the ladies on this side, so I'm gonna ask y'all. All right, make some noise if you want another woke poem. All right. Hello? We good? Yeah? All right. So y'all couldn't hear me that whole time? Talk about love? Alright. I'll do 2 short poems about love. Maybe another woke one and then bubbles. I'm solid. Taking on this life with you makes common sense. Look into my eyes with confidence and hail these compliments while we increase our tolerance. I know I've broken some major ones, was a player once, told line sisters they could stay over while I completed my major once, but the past can stay there, I'm different. Let's milk this life for all it has to offer. I spoil you more than you spoil me. Some would debate or disagree, but a lasting love comes with loyalty. Let's invest in us and only spend from the dividends. Share from our excess and split ways from dead ends. Really live out our lives with no fakes, flex, or pretense. And my words should be bond. I said what I said. Ain't no take backs. If following through on plans gets hard, then I will step back. And though I may regret that, I'll prepare for the get back. So my word girl, you get that. It's part of my check. Don't spend that. When you get back, pack a bag or two. We'll climb aboard an exclusive cruise and enjoy the exclusive views of a private island with a small group or just us two on the shores with a blunt and some jungle juice. And your baggage isn't an issue. I think I can manage helping you carry a heavy load like Thomas. A revolutionary love for another is Thomas. Plenty niggas pushing P, but I'm pushing a promise. And I put that on my mom. I'm solid. So love, man. So love. I'll do one more love.
Yeah, love's better.
I'm gonna love you better. Love is like a waterfall. Waterfalls range in might. Some whisper the universe's secrets in a trickle, while others roar, shouting glory to the creator that called them into place. As the waterfall goes, so does the soul. Let me grab that for you. Raging rivers return to silent streams sharing ancient wisdom. The calamity of its life is drawn by promises of healing softly spoken. Gentle words flow from the creek which falls from crown heights. Stars of the night look down in the light, reminding us that no matter how small the voice is, the waterfalls range in might. Alright, so I have one more love piece, but it's a heartbreak piece, and then I have another few woke pieces that I like to do, so tell y'all. Let's get the heartbreak. I bet. I'm gonna do two more poems and I'll get out your head. Alright? For this next piece, I want y'all to imagine the mind being like a computer. Alright? The American mental mainframe calculates responses towards race, poverty, protests, and police shootings based on the product of augmented algorithms. Within this system, designed by entertainment, history books, and capitalism, lies a virus. The value of life is priced by what one saw or was taught in their youth. So in truth, many Americans are coded to become numb to the sight of a colored chain gang, news of a missing black girl, or the death of a black body. Let's enter the mind of America, where kernel panics and frequent crashes plague outdated hard drives often left on sleep mode, and education fails to live up to the true meaning of its creed. The fictitious biases loaded into a child's intel corrupts the processor they use to perceive history and their current reality. Now in these 2020s, we still see how racial profiling takes many forms in navigating the medical, educational, professional, and civil scenes. Before achieving a healthy state of mind is the need to deconstruct the logic, bored, and tainted by misguided advertisement. Let's keep it real and consider the long-term implications of a faulty foundation caused by miseducation or the dark side of immigration. In order for the lives within this system can be deleted is the need to navigate the motherboard of America. The young ego is a relentless warrior looking for direction. It's kind of crazy how no matter what region of the country you live in, your beliefs and perspectives can get screwed. Let me tell you about a walk home from school, where I found myself surrounded. I'm tall, black, and fit with so much more to me than just that. Most folks miss it, but that's life. In my phone was my hand. In my pen was my phone, open to an app. I heard a shout. I stopped, turned, and shouted back. I saw a flash. The flames hit my flesh. And then it rained. It was a cloudy day. I was 16. One time for obsolete. That is those who are raised in America's inner cities, where every step in the concrete jungle is a test of one's courage. Growing up, we used to march down the boulevard until the Empire shut down our skating rink. The hurt was worse because these Crown Heights had the tendency to steal the breath from kids and offered us much less. The Kings County Watchmen didn't waste their efforts on neighborhoods like this. That is until 2010 when white folks started moving in. crimes frequented our blocks. Cops were rarely around when school bells rang and pistols sang the songs of souls lost in street philosophies. And if they were present, it was usually their barrels doing the humming. Heirs of vacant groans learned to never hold their breath when danger approaches. Cold tones suppress emotions until hearts exploded, and left youngins lost, lingering in the streets with no time to be scared out here. Numbness masked the weight of a body frozen in fear or pulsing in anger. It seems behind every smile, the hood silently weeps. One time for obsolete. As the rain rinsed my back of earth's problems, I saw the scripture on the app, on my phone, on the ground we lay. A fit description. That's life. Cold. It consumes me. The wrong man. Human. Too bad they didn't see him. Whether they were stick-up kids just above the age of 12 or 12 themselves, their American mental mainframe calculated a response based off of augmented algorithms. That's that. Really do appreciate the love, brother. Really do appreciate the love. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave y'all with this last piece. I've been practicing this all day. Somewhat new shit. So quick disclaimer, Shy and I met on Cheyenne. Oh, the Bathtub Poet. But we were both a part of a community literature initiative based out of LA. And we went through the publishing process for our books during this past 10 months. 9 months. And she invited me out to Portland to speak on the mic. And who was it?
Authors.
New City.
Okay, authors.
That part. Is that piece. Bubbles billow out of bathtubs as brain cells breathe in the winds of a new day. An open window echoes the city's refrain as weed whispers sweet delights into the mind of the queen. She's often saddened by the baggage propaganda propagates, but despite her battle, she finds moments like this to soak in the sweet swirls of scented salts and bath bombs. Whether childless or mom, in her youth she was fooled by wolves and Uncle Toms, but these days she struts her stuff with an assurance that none of these niggas can get something, unless he's on her level of her spiritual acumen, mental pedigree. As she sits in silence, her thoughts bubbles connect with the grace of an Alvin alien. She has figured out how to deal with all of her ailments. She's a healer who needed healing. Now her floor is most of these niggas' ceilings. Pent up feelings once house horrors in her head. But in this season, she struts her stuff, knowing that everything's alright. When the water grows too cold, her toes tickle the faucet. What was once cool is now warm. She hums the tune of her favorite song. From her cortex to her complex, the space is filled by her aura. Too bad only a few can see this beautifully painted picture. This savant of sexual healing, art, or great debater. Her eyes cue memories and plenty of plans. She is the poetic prose which flows from a prolific pen. Too bad media has distorted her image, and young brothers are raised thinking that a man isn't a man if he isn't bagged and smashed and passing to find his hoes and search for satisfaction. And what's sad is even some of our sisters in spiritual circles don't see themselves safe from the vows of human lustful passions. Sometimes I sit and play with games like what if? What if she had amazing parents and guardians, mentors who made sure she recognized her luminous soul and angelic hair she often wraps in wisdom? Or why the sunshine makes her afro glow in the summertime shimmer. As our sisters strut down South Mains to the sounds of Bill Street, she skates on the rhythms of soul and blues floating in the wind. Her peace, light, and words harmonize with a brilliance that send both scholars and gangsters into a subtle seduction. Though her set soaked souls with a soothing sensation, her beauty is only a fraction of why moments with her are so damn divine. What a lovely feeling. Being flooded by a mix of wonder and bliss after locking eyes with a woman so rare it costs more than beautiful to describe her difference. I wonder how the world codes roll with all forgotten her heart of spirit so fierce. Sometimes she sits and plays games like, what if? What if everything we know about the beginning was skewed? What if in the beginning God created Eve first? Like, what if God said to Eve, go to sleep. From under a rib, a womb lay dormant. until a breath of life grew coffee-colored creatures. Godly features began to blend with a mother's nature. It was a Genesis, unblemished, untamed. Her little love roamed roads paved by her feet. Watch as she, they hold hands and dance, prance, beautiful babies, boys, girls, and Eve. What if she was one with God? I mean, that would explain how she'd be able to take care of all these kids. And of course, she kept having them. David was plainless. And nature started to get out of hand. But of course, the Creator had a plan. Out of the atoms of earth, God created man. What if man was created to help Eve with these kids of Eve's gene from under Eve's rib? What if they led together, fed together, protected and nurtured with a purpose? No cursing. No cursing. What if OG sat down with YNs and taught them to listen to their sisters' petitions and find ways in which we can protect her and our young? What if we recognize that the mitigation of sexist mindsets begins with the elimination of misogyny found on food-fed the pups? What if we listen not to defuse her words, but to include her words, so that together, sisters, together, we can crumble old systems and begin to reconstruct. Watch as bubbles billow out of the bathtub. She deserves everything that love has in store. She deserves the back rub and so much more.